Okay, so the scrambler rifle, hot topic on the forums lately. A lot of calls to nerf it because people believe it's clearly overpowered as a rifle. So I'm gonna do a video showcasing it and the tactical assault rifle, kind of compare the two, and, and show why the tactical assault is so much worse than the scrambler rifle. On paper, the TAC actually looks a little better. It's got similar rates of fire, at least for what can be achieved by a human at 500 rounds per minute. More stopping power, smaller magazine, and less accuracy. Doesn't look like a lot, 47 to 57, but you'll see in practice it's actually quite a bit. The magazine size is comparable to what you can get out with a scrambler rifle before overheating, but the reload time on a TAC AR, you're going to reload every time you get to that 18th round. With a scrambler rifle, you can wait a second or two. Cost-wise, the TAC is quite a bit more expensive. It's a Meta 6 weapon, so it costs 17K, where the advanced scrambler rifle only costs you 10K. Not only that, there's a basic militia and a blueprint version of the scrambler rifle, so you can get into that guy for free, where just fielding a tactical assault rifle is going to cost you 17K a pop. Skill-wise, the TAC AR does have a operation skill, which is a reduction to kick, and then a sharpshooter skill, which is a reduction to dispersion, but they don't really seem to be doing their jobs well. And compared to the scrambler rifle, which doesn't have those skills, it just comes naturally as accurate as it's going to be. Its operation gives it a bonus to cooldown, which both lets it cool down faster and it lets you get more rounds out before overheating, because it continues to cool down even while you're firing. At least that's my theory. And operation skill is the same as the operation skill for, the proficiency skill, same as the proficiency skill for the TAC AR. It should be noted they're both shield weapons. The TAC is 110-90, 110% of shields, where the scrambler is 120-80. So looking at the TAC AR in action, at range, it's actually a pretty good weapon. I don't like the scope. I think it's, not the zoom, but just the size of the scope itself. It takes up, it looks like more than half the screen, so kind of your situational awareness drops drastically, in my opinion. You can't really see what else is going on around you compared to the scrambler rifle, but outside of 50 meters and all the way up to 80, 90 meters, this thing is deadly. It will chew through shields and armor pretty effectively, but it still has in my opinion, way too much of a kick for what's supposed to be a highly accurate semi-automatic rifle. Where it really falls flat on its face, though, is in its hip fire. I mean, the dispersion on this thing in hip fire is I don't know, to me, ridiculous. It's, it's an accurate weapon, and you're pointing it in a direction, you pull the trigger, the round should go in that direction, in my opinion, much like the scrambler rifle. So let's see if we do some back and forth comparison between the two. It's no wonder this rifle isn't used more. I mean, it is practically worthless in anything inside of 50 meters or 40 meters. So you see, I managed to hit that guy a couple of times, but watch this next one. I have him in my crosshairs most of the time, and I think I land one shot on him before I actually start ADSing, and this guy's we'll see, like 30 meters away, which should be, they're supposed to be aim assist in this game. I think this is like with the TAC AR, it's like aim unassist. But again, as a distance weapon, if you're more of a standoff player, or if you're into the standoff game, it can do some damage. You'll see this Galante here. Galante Assault probably had 3 times the hit points I had, and is easily able to take him down. Here you have a unlucky scout that drops in 3 shots, but you'll notice, this other scout that's running up on me, I don't think I was lucky to get, 1 round to land on him as he was coming at me. Chase this guy down. Excuse me, long weekend, and you can see let's see, from 18 rounds, how many it takes before I actually drop this guy. So yeah, not able to really do much of a job in close quarters. But you know, an air of opinion, it should be that way. So another big thing I guess I should point out about the scrambler rifle is that it is the perfect setup to have a shield rifle and then a armor submachine gun, or an armor sidearm, because you can first drop their shields and then, you know, take your armor out. But here again, you know, I don't know if it's shoddy hit detection or just really bad dispersion. You know, I keep the crosshairs relatively on this guy, and I think I hit him once in the foot out of 16 rounds fired. I had to drop on him, saw him coming. In comparison to the submachine gun is, yeah, it's practically glued to the guy. Yeah. But of course, you know, submachine gun's a close quarters weapon, and the TAC AR is not supposed to be. But I mean, damn, 16 shots from, you know, what was that, 12 meters away? I think I hit more than one. Okay, so scrambler rifle, on the other hand, is another beast altogether. So maybe a little too good close quarters, or you know, maybe it's where it's supposed to be. That's what I'd like to think. But it doesn't drift much upward when you're firing, and it's the shots themselves stay right inside that reticle. You know? So the amount of damage you can do quickly with the rate of fire it can put out is yeah, makes it both a good long range or medium to long range weapon and a good close quarters weapon. But that overheat mechanic, you know, if you overheat your gun, you're sitting duck for 5 seconds. So it's real important to make sure you control your fire. I use this thing almost purely, and I won't arm it on a logistics other than the AMR, which has a sidearm. I mean, it's just too dangerous, in my opinion, to walk around with something that's going to freeze you up, or you can't fire almost as much as you can fire in the game. But you know, I do see the plight of some. You would think the shotgun scout coming around the corner would have all the advantages in the world to take me down at a range of 10 meters. He does fire, so don't know if that's his bad aim, shoddy hit detection on the shotgun, or just the fact that the scrambler rifle is beast in both situations. I love the scope on this weapon way more than the TAC AR. You can see I can still see almost everything going on around my screen. It's got a decent zoom. It stays on point when I'm firing, and it's a field sniper's dream weapon. It really is. One of the better ones I've used in first-person shooters. I think the only one I like better is Modern Warfare 3's M14. I think it's got to be. Yeah, you can see there's not much drift, not much dispersion. It's just right on. Alright, so try a little science here. Let's talk about tempo for a moment. So 500 rounds per minute is actually 125 beats per minute to a musician using 16th notes. So for these tests, we're going to do at 120, which is 480 rounds per minute, below both what the scrambler rifle can achieve and what the TAC AR can achieve. And I'm going to show here, metronome rolling in the background, firing 4 shots per beat. I'm firing 16 shots at a time, or attempting 16 shots at a time. See, the TAC AR has a tendency to misfire, so I'm not overshooting. I'm not clicking the R1 faster than 500 rounds per minute, or faster than 125 beats per minute, 16th notes, yet I'm still misfiring. So something's hairy with this. Don't know what. Don't know if it's something that could be attributed to lag. I don't know if the stats are wrong, or what the deal is with this weapon. But for a weapon that depends on every single one of the shots you know, for one to miss, which is 70 hit points or 2 out of 5, that's a lot. That's you know, another big reason why I don't use this gun. You know, the freeness of the Scrambler is probably the biggest reason I use the Scrambler over the TAC-AR, but you know, even when I'm just doing 4-round burst, you'll see, yeah, it's Scrambler's spot on. You know, I don't miss it. And you know, this isn't a turbo controller. This is me just clicking R1. But with the TAC-AR, you know, I get it some of the time, but yeah, even one miss is too much in my opinion. Not when I'm, you know, as consistent as I am with the Scrambler rifle. So as he slowed down, I am absolutely clicking the button 4 times. See, that time I think I did 5. At that time. But yeah, only 3 shots came out in that one. Only 3 shots came out on that one. Only 2 shots came out on that one. So, I don't know, let's I don't really want to nerf the Scrambler. I'd rather see the TAC-AR buffed so that there's a different weapon that can do comparable. Maybe add a little dispersion to the Scrambler rifle. But since there's not a skill to that, I fear that if they add dispersion to hipfire, they'd also add dispersion to ADS, and yeah, it's a beam of light. It's supposed to be accurate. Definitely tone down the rate of fire. I haven't personally seen a modded controller. I mean, rhythm is my thing. I would know if I heard a Scrambler rifle that was moving faster than it should be moving. You know, just so you know, 700 rounds per minute is approximately 177 beats per minute, 16th notes. I mean, it's the same speed as in the ACR. You know, listen to the ACR, and if you hear a Scrambler rifle moving as fast as the ACR, then you know someone's most likely using a modded controller. But like I said, I haven't seen it yet. If I did, if I was in a game with someone using it, I'd hit the record button and probably would ass out on it so fast. Trust me. If it was being done, I'd know it, or I'd know it if I heard it. Now, that's not saying that someone could be using a modded controller and actually toning it down to 500 rounds per minute just so that it goes unnoticed. But you know, it is possible to get a good, consistent rate of fire up to overheat. I mean, I'm barely dragging, you know, 1/16th note when I do it. So, if you hear me in a game, know that I'm not using a modded controller. I'm just, you know, twitching my finger and making it happen. So that's about it. I don't know if I've made an argument to keep or nerf the Scrambler rifle the way it is, but I definitely hope I showed that the TAC-AR needs some help. And this thing is, you know, especially for it to cost so much, you know, there's not really a cheap way to get into this weapon. It's just not effective. See, the Scrambler's pretty smooth. TAC-AR is just crap. You know, absolute crap in my opinion. So let me know what you think. Add the argument. Call me out. Tell me I'm just trying to hold on to my crutch. I don't care. You know, I like the rifle. I've used it since it launched. It's the entire reason I wanted to get that Templar pack, because of the Scrambler rifle. Well, at the time, the standard Amara logistics suit was a pretty slick little suit, but that's it. Thanks for watching.